Hey y'all, welcome back to Indie Flicks. Today we're breaking down Love is Blind Season 10, Episode 8, and this is where the experiment gets heavy. We've moved past the honeymoon, we've met some families, and now it's time for the real question. Are these couples actually ready for marriage? Because in this episode, we see doubt get louder, tension rise, and at least one relationship that feels like it's hanging by a thread. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like and leave your comments below. Let's get into it. So in this episode, Breezy was able to take Connor to her place, and it didn't surprise me how her place looked. Very feminine, very neat, very organized, especially with her reactions of going over his place and seeing, his bachelor pad. And then also with him coming to see her place, her mom was there, so he got to meet her mom as well. And I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was like, oh, she lives with her mom, but no, she was just there to meet Connor. And mom approves. Mom seems to like him. Rihanna's also expressing how much she knows he loves her, and that's a good feeling, and how much he's willing to change. But I was just curious on why that wasn't also in the reverse. If he's gonna do all this adjusting and changing, and you could tell that he really loves you, stuff like that, I feel like it also needs to be shown on the other foot, right? But so far so good. I'm really curious to see how she interacts with his family, though, if we get a chance to see that. But her mom also made sure she knew that her dad has reservations about this whole process. And that'll be interesting. I wonder if we'll ever even get to see Connor meet her dad before the wedding day, or if dad will even show up. So that's another uphill, I think, challenge that they have in store. This parent introduction, I think, is the one of the most ideal situations that anyone in this experiment can go through. With Brittany and Devontae, Brittany brought Devontae over to her family's house. And he got to meet her dad, her mom, sibling, sister-in-law, and it was just so inviting. And I love that for them. Like, they were just such an inviting family. Even the dad, like, he was just so excited about meeting him. They had their own one-on-one talk and got to know each other a little bit more. And I feel like dad really likes Devontae. And I don't know. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but I really don't think Devontae's going to stay with Brittany. I don't. And I don't know. I was just watching his facial expressions through the whole thing. And I know he's kind of laid back and chilled, but it almost looked like a little bit of guilt, in my opinion. Maybe because in his mind, he's like, I don't think this is, going to get to that point. Also, her dad, I don't want to say put pressure on, but he did, like, make it known that they do not believe in divorces. Like, once we get married, that's it. We're going to work through whatever we need to work through. I'm here with you for the long run. So we'll see. I mean, they did have a good connection and vibe, and a very deep talk, because Devontae, as you know, just recently lost his grandfather, and then Brittany's dad lost his mother just the previous year. So that was something that they connected on as well. But I guess we'll have to see. I think, again, I'm still feeling like Brittany is way more into Devontae than he is into her. But again, that may just be his personality. He may just have that nonchalant, chilled personality, and maybe it takes time for him to break out of that shell. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I still feel like I'm right. We received another approval for Amber and Jordan. Amber introduced her brother to Jordan, and it was like the bros. I mean, her brother shared how much I guess she's dealt with it with past relationships, and she needs something more serious. And I'm not gonna lie, the brother and Jordan almost kind of look like they could be related in some way. But they want what's best for Amber, as anybody does on this experiment. I don't know if we have a chance to see or meet Jordan's family. That'll be interesting to see, especially knowing that he is potentially going to marry someone with a child, which is something, again, he doesn't do. And I also wonder, if he does bring his family, if they're going to bring up, like, I thought you said you'll never date someone with a child, or, abuse. I don't know. We'll see if that ever comes across. But so far, so good with these two. Emma got the chance to meet Mike's family. And I didn't know, maybe I didn't pay attention, but Mike is Italian. So he has, and it's a typical Italian family, which is not a bad thing at all. They're really big on family. And I think this was a nice meetup as well. At the beginning of it, I was a little scared just because Mike's mama looked like she don't play. Definitely looks like she doesn't play. But in the end, I feel like they got a better understanding of who Emma is. Emma shared her story about her adoption and about her medical procedure, and the hesitancy around surrounding kids, because that was one thing his family kept picking on. Like, do you want kids? Because they want Mike to have kids. They know Mike wants to have kids. And I'm going to give kudos to Mike, because when it felt like things were starting to get tensed with the questioning and all that other stuff, he was stepping in and like almost at Emma's defense, like, you're good. I don't want you to do that. Like, we talked about this and stuff like that. And I love that. And I feel like that was a lot of validation in their relationship of how much he has her back and is in there with her. Now, I do think this kid conversation is a serious one. And I don't know where they go from here, because, you only have a certain amount of period to figure it out of whether you're going to say yes or no at that altar. And this kid conversation can be a lengthy one. Like, nothing is going to be decided overnight, right? So I think that's something they're just going to have to battle with. And hopefully, you can see his dad is really there to support them. I hope mom gets on board as well, because in my opinion, it doesn't look like it too much. But she did state that she did like Emma. She thinks she's a nice girl. So we'll see where the cookie crumbles with these two. All right, y'all. Now it's time to get into the mess of this episode. We're gonna start with Alex and Ashley. Alex decides to have a conversation with Ashley. I guess they were working from home, and he, I guess, was offered a coaching position out in Florida. Now, we know previously that he said that he's interested in moving to Florida and also Arizona. She said she would be with it. Ashley's now also saying that, she really doesn't have any ties in either state. She does love Arizona, but she also is about to have a conversation with her boss about a promotion at her current company. And Alex is just really not hearing it. He's like, look, you knew coming into this, I'm a nomad. I like to move. I like to travel. And I don't want to be locked in a place here in Ohio. Like, I'm either going to this one or that one. I'm about to take this position. You got to figure out what you need to figure out. He was very Russian for a decision. And I think that took Ashley, she was taken aback. And I'm starting to see her eyes kind of open to these red flags that I said in my last video that Alex is showcasing a lot. But that conversation leads into a whole nother conversation of menstrual periods, a woman's menstrual cycle. Because I guess Ashley's very sexually frustrated. They haven't been having sex, and Alex's reason behind that was he didn't know when she's not ovulating. I'm sorry, what? ¿Cómo se dice? Huh? Like, what do you mean? Why? Why does that matter? I mean, I get it, because that's not your wife. And both of them have reiterated time and time again, they are not ready for a child right now. But that don't make no sense. I don't know. It don't make no sense to me. And if you that dang scared of getting someone pregnant, wear a condom. There are preventative measures out here in the world, plenty of them, a plethora of other choices for you not to get someone pregnant. If you are so scared to get them pregnant, wear a condom. If your pull-out game is that weak, wear a condom. Like, this whole conversation was so irritating. And the fact that you even said that, oh, I don't know if you want to share a tracking app. No. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not even going to get into politics. But if you know, you know. If you know what I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking. He is ill. That whole conversation was just ill. And she was even mentioning, like, you're not even touching me. Like, you put a pillow in the bed when I'm on my cycle, which is crazy. Like the blood is gonna burn your skin. Please grow up. And it's almost giving off like he feels like she's gonna trap him. For what? You're not a star. You're not a professional athlete. If anything, you really ain't got a job for real right now. So trapping you would mean what for me? Especially if I'm already in a solidified great career. It doesn't make sense, right? It don't make sense. So that whole conversation, and then they started fighting over some water bottle stuff. It was just really, really petty. They went their separate ways. They eventually came back to each other, and I guess agreed what she asked for, but in the beginning, like, give me time to talk to my boss, and I guess things were, you know, fine afterwards. It just to me, I wasn't for it. That was so weird. That was a weird conversation. And actually, wake the heck up. Wake up. Like, this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't know if you're desperate. I mean, sure, he's good looking, but it can't just all be about looks. Get it together. So we have Chris and Jessica last, and their conversation was another drama-filled conversation. Apparently Chris stayed out the night before with a friend and didn't communicate that with Jessica. And, like any typical woman that's in a relationship, hey, communicate with me on what's going on, especially in this type of experiment. And he wasn't understanding that. He's like, I don't feel like I need to text you 24/7 a day. Like, it's just too much, which missed me with that. But then he also goes on to say that his type is usually women that be in the gym, basically. Women in Pilates, yoga, hot yoga, whatever. And he's getting to the point of feeling like he's not physically attracted to Jessica. And this is so annoying. Like, I cannot stand when they do this on this show, because you knew what she looked like on day one. You had to at least spend a week or two with each other. Her face and body is exactly the same from the first day you met her. You knew this. You knew this. And okay, maybe the first few days you tried. You try to, gain some type of attractiveness. And I'm pretty sure they had sex when they went on their getaway. Somebody let me know in the comments if I'm mistaken. But sir, please. And I don't know if it's because of the conversation he had with his friend the night prior, where he got the venting and like, oh, you know what? Maybe, I don't know. But that's not fair. It just isn't fair. So we'll have to see with these two. I don't know where it's gonna lead. I feel like Jessica's way more mature than he is. So she may, take the higher ground and just be like, all right, I'm gonna just excuse myself from this situation. But I feel like he's gonna be another one that's just gonna be like, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. And may end it before the altar. But that was episode 8, y'all. This is where doubt becomes visible. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is saying yes? Who's about to shock us? And which couple feels forced to you? If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next breakdown. This experiment is about to get even more intense, and I'll see you in the next one.